Hidden away in the mountains of North Carolina is a place that is as creepy as it is unique. You follow the long winding trails up Beech Mountain, you'll eventually find yourself on a yellow brick road leading you to the one and only Land of Oz. This park has had a troubled past, and it's been largely abandoned most of its life. The park first opened in 1970 when founders Harry and Grover Robbins wanted to turn their ski lodge into a year-round attraction. Looking at all the mountains and lush forest around them, they said the area reminded them of the Land of Oz. The surrounding beauty inspired them to have over 44,000 yellow bricks laid out to recreate the infamous Yellow Brick Road, and only after 5 years their vision of the Land of Oz was finally completed. As the park evolved and grew, more attractions were added. Guests could take the Yellow Brick Road and meet the Scarecrow, Tin Man, the Cowardly Lion, and of course, the Wicked Witch herself. You could even experience the tornado that swept Dorothy and her dog away. Right behind Dorothy's house was a small museum where you could see props from the original Wizard of Oz movie. This included the very dress that Judy Garland wore in the original film. But no matter what path you took, your journey would always end in Emerald City, where you'd get to meet Dorothy on her way to see the wizard. In the early days, business was booming. It was the most successful theme park on the East Coast, and had over 4,000 guests on its opening day. But hard times for the park loomed just around the corner. Just before the park opened, the owner had unexpectedly died, and so did his vision for the Land of Oz. After his passing, some say the park really did lose its charm. A new company moved in to take over management of the park, but they quickly went bankrupt by the end of 1975. That same year, a fire was started in the Emerald City Amphitheater. The fire destroyed 2 buildings and spread to the park's offices. Costumes, props, and other equipment was completely destroyed. A closer look found that many items were stolen from the museum before the fire was set. This included original props from the movie as well as Judy Garland's Dorothy dress. Rumors swirled as to who started the fire. Some think it was disgruntled employees, while others think it was set for insurance money. The Land of Oz would be rebuilt and managed by another company, but they never really managed to get out of the red. Guests reported that the new rebuilt park lacked the magic and quality of the original design. The new company realized that the cost to completely restore the park to its former glory was just too high. The Land of Oz would finally close its doors in 1980. The park was left abandoned and exposed to the elements. With no one to guard the Land of Oz, props were vandalized or stolen, and many of the buildings fell into disrepair. But not everything was lost during this time. Much of the yellow bricks were saved, along with some of the Munchkin houses and parts of the witch's castle. The park would sit completely empty and deserted for another 11 years. On July 4th, 1991, the park finally reopened to celebrate both Independence Day and the new redevelopment of the land. New condos were built near the park, and some of the old buildings were turned into homes. Uncle Henry's barn was converted into a 3-bedroom condo, where the park's caretaker now lives. Nowadays, the park is mostly quiet, but it's actually well taken care of, and only open for a few weeks out of the year. You can even rent out Dorothy's cottage for the night. It can be easy to mistake the park as abandoned at times, especially since it's so quiet and isolated. When I first visited, the fog was so thick you couldn't see 10 feet in front of you. The yellow brick road was eerily quiet. That is, until 2 dark figures charged us through the fog. Luckily for us, these labradoodles were friendly, and just like Toto, they joined us on our journey. Further down the yellow brick road, obscured by white haze, I heard scraping and clicking. Not sure what I'd find, I pushed further on to find men working and repairing the yellow brick road. I spoke with them and they explained that the Land of Oz is constantly being vandalized and mistaken for being abandoned. They explained that the problem with taking a small piece of the road is that eventually there'd be nothing left. The bricks were custom made to fit the path and they aren't made anymore. It was fascinating to see how the road was built, but it was also sad that online rumors had accelerated the park's decay. A few years back, several websites made the Land of Oz go viral, claiming it was abandoned. Since then, caretaker Cindy Keller claims she's warded off swarms of thieves and vandals looking for relics to steal. An article by the Charlotte Observer mistakenly associated urban exploration with theft and vandalism. Stories like this are unfortunately common when the location of abandoned places gets posted online. While the Land of Oz may never return to its former glory, it's definitely not abandoned. Now, with new security systems in place, the caretaker watches over the yellow brick road to ensure everyone will get to enjoy it for generations to come.